Hey guys, I'm back after a long hiatus. That means I was doing other stuff. I want to continue this unboxing I received, months ago. It's been sitting here, and I do not know what these grades are, so let's have a look. But before that, this is a little something off my desk I thought I'd show you. A 1962 proof set in an old Capitol holder. I love the vintage Capitol holders. This is my birth year set. I'm an old guy. These have all been graded PCGS as Proof 67 Cameo or higher. I love this set like this because people aren't distracted by the numbers. You can just enjoy the high quality, cool coins. All high grade cameos. And yes, I broke them out of the holders before you guys ask. Anyway, let's get on to some coins. Alright, first up. 1881S Morgan dollar. This coin's not worth too much unless it's designated proof-like or deep mirror proof-like. It's kind of a common date, but it looks to be proof-like, I hope. The obverse does have a large scuff across her cheek, although it's not deep. It is right in the middle of the focal area, and it looks like some kind of moisture. Toned up across her eye, which is a little distracting. I love the rim toning, though. The album toning. And the reverse is beautiful. What do you think? Let's have a look and see what we got. Oh, no, not even a proof like. 63. It's not worth too much without that proof like. And it's close there. Doesn't that look proof like to you a little bit? It does to me. Nice coin, but without that, it's just an average 63. Anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, up next, 1936 Oregon Trail Commemorative. Have a look at this. This one I obviously didn't have graded. I got this on eBay, and I'll explain why a little later. I obviously know the grade, but I covered it up just so you could have a little fun. See how close you can get. This is a very popular commemorative. Probably the most popular commemorative. And there's loads of them out there. So I'm going to spend a little time here. This was minted to commemorate the migration of around 400,000 people who traveled in wagon trains along a trail across the United States from around the Missouri River to the Oregon Territory. This happened for the most part between the years 1845 and 1869. So approximately 20 years they were using this trail. The Transcontinental Railroad was completed in 1870, so most people use the train after that. They call it a trail, and it was actually just a trail in the beginning. And slowly it evolved into an actual road that could accommodate wagons, but it was still extremely primitive. All these people are heading west to claim free farmland in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. The government gave one section of land, which was 640 acres, to married couples. And the single man can get half of that, 320 acres, at no cost. You just had to show that you were working the land. But to take advantage of that, you had to endure an extremely difficult journey. Thousands of people died during this trip, and they are just buried along the trail. It took a wagon train 6 months to travel the 2,100 miles. And the pioneers weren't just sitting in these wagons and riding along. They were walking next to these wagons for 2,000 miles. Most of the wagons were pulled by oxen. They were very powerful, but they were slow. It's an extremely interesting story, and it was definitely worth commemorating with a national coin. They started minting these in 1926. They were made on and off for 13 years, the longest running commemorative series. The obverse was designed by James Earl Fraser, and his wife, Laura Garden Fraser, designed the reverse, which is pretty interesting. Let's talk for a minute about James Frazier. When he was young, his father worked for the railroads as a mechanical engineer, and his family would travel with him as the railroads moved west through Iowa and South Dakota, which at that time was Indian country. So Frazier, as a young kid, saw a lot of what was happening to the American Indians, and he felt sorry for them. And that really influenced a lot of his future artwork. I mean, you can see it in the Buffalo Nickel, which is something he designed. Also, take a look at this. Frazier did this sculpture in 1894. He called this End of the Trail. An exhausted Indian hunched over his tired horse. And how this came about is kind of interesting. As a boy, Frazier remembered an old Dakota trapper saying, "The Indians will someday be pushed all the way into the Pacific Ocean." And later that comment inspired Frazier to make an Indian, which represented his race, reaching the end of the trail, at the edge of the Pacific. You don't even need to be an art person to appreciate this. I mean, if you know anything about the history of the American Indians, you can feel what this is all about. Amazing piece. Truly the end of the trail. For the Native American way of life, that's for sure. But back to the coin. The obverse has an awesome looking American Indian doing his best to hold back the westward expansion. And the reverse shows the opposite way of life. A Conestoga wagon with a mother and her baby moving west into a giant rising sun and a new life. And look at the detail here. You can even see the baby. Laura Frazier did a fantastic job with this. And notice the curved ground. That effect really emphasizes the distance these people had to travel. It looks like they had to travel halfway around the globe. Great effect. This one's in a vintage first generation PCGS holder, which to me is kind of part of the attraction. This holder's from the late 80s, and I'm definitely not a holder collector, but I do have a couple of these older versions. This coin's pretty nice, 1936, not a spot on it, and I love the color. It looks all white at first, but it's not really. It's just lightly toned. Just a little light brown. You might call it champagne color or something like that. I really like that aged look. I'm not sure how airtight these holders are, but it's been in here for more than 30 years. It's not perfect though. If you look closely, you can see the luster's broken in a few places. You can see the high spots of the Indian where it's a bit dull, and around the date on the reverse. But overall though, pretty cool. There's another kind of interesting thing about this coin. When I was looking at it closely, I noticed some fine scratches here in front of the Indian's face. And I immediately thought, oh man, somebody scratched this at some time trying to clean it. But I thought I'd do a little research and see what I could find. I started looking at other 1936 Philadelphia examples on the internet. And surprisingly, look what I found. Here's my coin on the left and a different coin on the right. Have a look at that. And another one. And some more. They all have the same exact scratches. They were all made from the same die. Some mint worker was polishing this die and just left all those scratches there and threw it back in the press. Not good. Shoddy workmanship in 1936. But anyway, it's interesting to me to do that kind of research on these things. I enjoy the detective work. I know what the grade is, of course, but I'll let you guess. What do you think? 65. Were you close? I think it's correctly graded. Nice coin. Now, the reason I bought this coin is that the example I had graded, this one, looks like this. Pretty nice, huh? But if you look at this closely, you can see this coin has a problem. There's a pretty big spot there on the reverse. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have graded this. It had a really dark spot there. It looked like this before I sent it in. And I sent it actually to PCGS for conservation, hoping they could get it off. And this is actually the best they could do with it. This one's almost guaranteed to get a low grade. I took a chance with this and it just didn't work out. Let's see. Yeah. 62. Not good. This was a gamble I shouldn't have taken. But anyway, it's a fantastic coin that commemorates an incredible event in American history. We have many commemoratives and some celebrating off the wall local events, and to be honest, I'm not sure those events deserved a national commemorative coin. But this event is one that truly deserves remembering. Just an amazing part of American history. Very interesting. And part of the reason I collect coins is just the history is so cool. Alright, this one's pretty interesting. 1804 half cent. Draped bust. Pretty good shape as far as I can tell. The darn thing is so dark though. You can hardly see it. When you look up this coin in Coin Facts, PCGS lists 5 different major varieties for this coin. So you have to figure out which one you got. You have to check out the number 4 in the date. And you also have to look at the wreath on the reverse, the stems. Let's have a look at the 4. Here's the 4. That looks like a crosslet 4 to me. Let's have a look at the reverse. How about the wreath? That looks like stems to me. Now there's one other major thing you need to check out on the obverse. It's called a spiked chin. And that looks like a spiked chin to me. I've got a spiked chin variety. Let's move on. 100% copper. Robert Scott's the designer, first chief engraver. He was actually born in Edinburgh, Scotland. Immigrated to America 1775. Anyway, I like this coin. I just know almost nothing about these. And it looks a bit polished on the obverse there. I don't know if that's just circulation or what. The reverse is super nice as far as I can tell. Lots of detail. And I guess this coin could be worth a few bucks if it doesn't get details grade. But I don't know. It's also got those pits on the obverse. But we'll just have to see. Look at that. Cleaned. VF detail. Hey, we got the spiked chin, right? Yeah, this is so old. It's just, I mean, all these coins have been around so long. Chances of somebody cleaning them are very high. I guess all that polish, the copper color you see is how they can tell it's been polished. That's polish. Still a cool coin, lots of detail. For this age, oh my gosh. George Washington had just died 4 years before this was made. Amazing. I would have loved to see America in 1804. Anyway, alright, let's move on. What's next? What is next? I think a 1926S peace dollar. San Francisco peace dollar. This is so cool. Look at the smooth luster on this. How about the reverse? This looks like it was struck with a brand new die. And the strike is very good for a peace dollar. What a beauty. Absolutely awesome. It's got slight abrasion on her cheek. That cheek is the most important part of these peace dollars and the Morgan dollars. And that might be enough to lower the grade. But it's very light and the feels are just awesome. You can see below the word we and trust, there's a little bit of reed marks where another coin is banged into this and left a little mark there. But the reverse is just out of this world. Look at that light tan toning. And there's just no marks. All right, let's have a look. 64? Ah, this is a 64? I don't know. Oh, man. Here we go again. This is only a 64? I hate to see what a 66 looks like. Man, this is nice. At least I think it's nice. I don't think they didn't think it was so nice. Not sure what they were looking at to make this a 64. I think the whole grading scale is pushed down on piece dollars. If this was a Morgan dollar and it looked like this, there's no way it would be a 64. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Wow. Anyway, that's about all. I think I'm running out of time, guys. That's all we'll get to today. I'll try and get another one real soon. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.